You hear about them all the time, right? These big lawsuits, loads of people against one company.
Yeah, the headlines pop up constantly.
Exactly. So today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, class action lawsuits. We want to give everyone listening a quick, clear understanding of what they are, how they work.
Sounds good. It's a topic that affects more people than they might realize.
Definitely. So let's start at the beginning. What exactly is a class action lawsuit in simple terms?
Right. So at its core, it's a legal tool. It lets a large group of people who've all experienced a similar kind of harm from the same source, think like a faulty product or maybe some kind of corporate fraud.
Or those big environmental cases you sometimes see.
Precisely. Or consumer rights stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of every single person filing their own separate lawsuit, which would be, incredibly expensive and time-consuming.
And clog up the courts like crazy, I imagine.
Totally. They band together. One lawsuit represents the whole group. It saves money and, honestly, it gives them more leverage.
Okay, so it's that strength in numbers idea applied to the legal world.
Exactly. A few individuals, called representative plaintiffs, basically lead the charge for everyone else, the class. They pursue the case for the benefit of all members.
And if they win or settle,
Then any money awarded is divided up amongst the eligible class members.
yeah.
But there's a really key step first.
Ah, okay.
A judge has to approve it. They have to look at the group and the claim and officially certify them as a class. Without that certification, it can't proceed as a class action.
Gotcha. Court approval is needed. So let's say I might be one of those people affected. How would I even know? How do I get involved?
Well, the most common way is you'll get a notice. Could be a letter in the mail, maybe an email. It'll basically lay out what the lawsuit is about and say, hey, we think you might be part of this group.
And that notice is pretty important, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. It explains your options. Usually you have two main choices.
Which are?
Okay, option one, do nothing. If the lawsuit description fits your situation, doing nothing typically means you stay in the class. If there's a settlement or award later, you'll be eligible for a share.
Simple enough. What's option two?
Option two is you can opt out. You actively choose not to be part of the class action.
Why would someone do that?
The main reason is it preserves your right to sue the company individually, on your own. Maybe your specific damages were much higher than average, or you just want more control over your own legal strategy.
Right, so opting out gives you that freedom back. What if I think I should be included, but I never got a notice? Am I just missed?
Not necessarily. Sometimes notices don't reach everyone. You can often find information online. Lots of law firms or legal news sites track active class actions.
So a bit of online searching might work.
It can, yeah. Searching for the company or the specific issue might turn something up. Or you could always consult an attorney. They often have ways of finding out about relevant class actions.
Okay, good to know there are other avenues. Let's zoom out a bit.
Sure.
What are the big pros and cons of actually joining one?
Sure. On the plus side, the biggest one is cost. Your individual legal expenses are minimal, or often zero up front, because the lawyers usually work on contingency and the costs are spread thin.
Makes sense. What else?
Well, there's that leverage point again. A large unified group generally has more bargaining power against a corporation than one person does. And it can be more efficient for the courts, too, one case, instead of potentially thousands.
Okay, lower cost, more power, court efficiency. Sounds pretty good. What about the flip side? The cons?
The main one is often the payout. Because any settlement gets divided among potentially thousands or even millions of people, your individual share might be quite small, sometimes surprisingly small.
Ah, so you might get more if you sued alone, potentially.
Potentially, yes, especially if your specific harm was significant. Another con is control. You don't really steer the ship. The lead plaintiffs and the lawyers make the strategic decisions.
And you mentioned losing the right to sue separately.
Right. If you stay in the class and the case settles or gets a judgment, you generally give up your right to pursue your own lawsuit over the same issue later. You're bound by the outcome.
So it's really a trade-off, isn't it? Convenience and lower risk versus potential individual reward and control.
That sums it up nicely.
Okay, so quick recap. Class actions let groups sue together over shared harm. Notices tell you if you're included, and you can stay in or opt out. Pros include shared costs and collective power. Cons can be smaller payouts and less control.
You got it. And, stepping back even further, It's kind of a fundamental tool for accountability, isn't it? It gives individuals a practical way to challenge large entities.
It levels the playing field a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When facing a giant corporation, collective action might be the only realistic path for many people to seek any kind of justice.
That's a really important perspective. Thanks. This has made the whole concept much clearer.
Glad I can help clarify.
And for everyone listening, here's something to think about. When does the power of the group outweigh individual autonomy? Especially when seeking accountability from powerful organizations, it's a complex balance worth considering. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
If this podcast helped you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep making these videos. Thanks for watching.